What's going on, Moon Gang? This is your Dumb Money Update for today, Tuesday, December 7th, and what a turnaround Tuesday it was. We're finally seeing green across the board. I hope you're seeing green in your own portfolio. So over the past week or two, there were varying things that put pressure and some caution and maybe people being a little bit risk adverse, and we were seeing some downward pressure across many different markets, but it's looking as if we finally found a base and things are starting to bounce off of that. So once again, I hope you're finally seeing some green in your P&L. Now in this particular update video, I'll be going quickly over what's going on in the overall market. I'll be pointing out some equities that I think have some interesting opportunity right now, and then at the very end, I'll be giving you a quick update of our two favorite moon stocks, both AMC and GME. Now, before we get into all of that, just a very friendly reminder, if you enjoyed this video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like, and don't forget to join up with the Moon Gang by hitting that red subscribe button if you want to. So with all that being said, let's hop right into it. So out of all days, why was today a particularly green day? The answer to that is because of fears related to the unicorn variant are finally subsiding to a pretty serious degree, which is good for all of us. It's good for the market. This is coming from a report from Fauci saying that the unicorn variant is almost certainly not more severe than Delta. So that's good. That's taking away some of the concerns. And Morgan Stanley actually took it a step further. Morgan Stanley sees Fed as greater threat to stocks than unicorns. So this is referring to the tapering and what they're doing with that. It's expected that they're actually going to double up the rate from cutting off 15 billion to 30 billion in December. And then they might even speed it up opposed to trying to end all the tapering in June, maybe potentially looking at like that March, April-ish timeframe. So this is what they're referring to is how is the Fed going to behave with the overall market, particularly with their tapering? How quick do they want to be? Basically, the gradient of previously being extremely dovish, how hawkish are they going to go in the current scenario? That's the overall market. The risks definitely being alleviated between the unicorn variant kind of subsiding, the fears of additional government shutdown not happening anymore. So the risks where people didn't know what was going on are all kind of being figured out, and people are kind of calming down, and we're seeing that in enthusiasm, nice green enthusiasm in the overall market. Now, before we get into the markets, I want to share something interesting that was posted last night. This is from the account Zero Hedge. It's a very big, popular account on Twitter. I recommend checking it out. Brace for face-ripping short squeeze. Now, obviously, if you're a member of the ape community, whenever you hear face-ripping short squeeze, obviously your ears are going to perk up a little bit. And I just kind of want to point this out. So this was posted by Goldman Sachs. And just so you know, the date was December 3rd, I believe. Largest 10-day net selling in U.S. equities since April 2020 as hedge funds continued to reduce net exposure through shorts. Driven again by short sales outpacing long buys 4.5 to 1. Driven by short sales and to a lesser extent, long sales 9 to 1. And they're just talking about various data points that they have from Goldman Sachs. But the takeaway here is the extreme amount of selling. So this net exposure, it's people are going short. Not only are they locking in long positions, but people are like actively going short to create a position to a very notable degree. Short sales outpacing long buys 4.5 to 1. If these players got it wrong across the entire market, I'm not talking about specifically AMC and GME, but if this amount of short betting, these bearish bets were incorrect, and this was a momentary check to the bottom side and the market keeps ripping, it's very much this, a face ripping short squeeze. We might be seeing some insane volatility and fireworks across all markets depending on how this particularly plays out. Record setting amount of net selling. That is crazy. Now, before we get into the overall market, just your quick check on crypto. Bitcoin still hanging at about 50,000. So it looks like this dip was to be bought. Would love to see it break above 53. Ethereum hanging out sideways at 4,300, but still a nice dip off of 3,600. MATIC, very strong. The next resistance on MATIC is at 250, currently trading at 240. After that, I'm watching the all-time high of about 281, 282. Loop Ring, also very strong, hanging out at 250. Would love to see this recapture $3. And I was going to talk about this in a little bit, but just a quick reminder, GameStop has its earnings report after the market closes on Wednesday, December 8th. And with its alleged connection to Loop Ring, if there is an official announcement, you might see also in addition to volatility in GameStop, you might also see some serious volatility in LRC. So worthwhile to pay attention to. Beyond that, I'm also watching Avalanche because right now it's not 91. And I think an awesome dip buy that I've already missed twice is around 80. So kind of watching there. Lots of opportunity currently in crypto. Moving on to the overall markets, the S&P 500 had a phenomenal day. It was up 2%, broke through the resistance at 460. My next watch is 470.65. So about halfway through 470, currently at 469. I feel very confident. And then right after that, all we have to really pay attention to is the all-time high. This is kind of exciting stuff. This is tied in the top 10 highest closes ever, potentially top 20 for sure. And with a day like this up 2%, when we know that we have some of the biggest net selling ever, people might start to feel the pressure, which would be for a further push to the upside as all those scared shorts start to cover. The Qs had a great day. Notable gap up 487, opened up at 392. I do think that this gap will one day close, but right here, the tech sector looking very strong. I'm watching that key psychological and key technical level of 400. After that, we have 407 and the all-time high is 408.71. The Russell 2000, same thing, gap up, looking strong. Probably very much helped with a nice green day in AMC because remember, AMC is the biggest equity within this particular ETF. Had a nice gap up to 222. I would actually like to see it very quickly fill this gap up to 228.54. That's my next watch, but we're coming off an oversold RSI, so things are looking very nice for an overall reversion play. I think the question for the equities market, the crypto market, is now that there has been bearish momentum that has finally kind of gone out of the way, and bullish momentum, apish momentum is starting. The question is, how long can it possibly last? Now, before we get into the specifics of AMC, which had a great day, up 7.8%, let me give you some of the other information. Short interest is going higher and higher and higher. We are currently up to 18.6%. The utilization, 77%, shares on loan around 100 million. So getting back up to that 100 million mark, pretty interesting. As it continues to go up like this, the newest shorts could get burned very, very quickly. In terms of the options market, we're definitely seeing an agreement between the options market and what we saw in price action today. The bullish premium was around 52%. Now, coming back to the chart, I'm loving this breakout right here. We were testing with it, and 31, 20, 25 is the level I care about. So we've seen this sell-off ever since late November all the way down, and then it started dancing around, and clearly for us to start building up this momentum as we have a bit of bullish divergence in the RSI, the stock has gone lower, but the RSI not as much low, so the bearish momentum starting to dry up. I would love to see this breakout above 31.25. Now, unfortunately, today we closed just below it, or right at 31, nice 7.8% gain. I'm not taking away from that at all, but I think a nice close above that could really open up the doors for a nice push, a very quick push all the way up to 35. So that's what I'll be watching for on AMC, but it does seem like that some bullish and apish momentum is finally returning. Now, in terms of GameStop, the short interest is up to 12%, utilization 28%, shares on loan 6.72 million. GameStop had a also pretty solid day as we're one day out from its earnings announcement. It gained 6.4%, and I would say that was once again in agreement with what we saw in the options market. The bullish flow was about 53.6%. Now, in terms specifically of the technicals, we had a nice technical bounce off of 167, resistance, support. We finally bounced off of it. We also have some trend lines. Would love to see this get momentum above 188. And then I'm watching the region from 196 to 200. So in a similar boat of many equities, pretty similar to AMC of all of these things sold off, found a level of support, and we're now trying to build up momentum. So the golden question is, how hard can it possibly go? How high is the momentum? What's it really going to look like? And we might have an additional fundamental driver because GameStop tomorrow, Wednesday, December 8th, after the market closes, has its earnings announcement. You never know what is or isn't going to be said, so that could definitely prompt some enthusiasm. Here's what you need to know. GameStop is set to report its fiscal third quarter results after the market closes on Wednesday. So in terms of just pure fundamentals, here's what you're looking for. The expectations are to report an adjusted net loss of 52 cents per share with sales around 1.19 billion. So that's what we're looking to beat. You want to be a loss of 52 cents per share, and you also want to be a revenue of 1.19 billion. With this, I also want to importantly iterate that we got to listen for other things. I am particularly interested in what in the world is going on with the NFT marketplace. Are they going to drop any of the potential names with Loopring? What's going on there? It would be awesome to get any of those updates if they're going to give them to us. So when you're listening, beyond just those pure numbers, see if there's any commentary on the NFT marketplace, because I think some of the hints that could or couldn't be dropped related to that could definitely prompt potentially an explosive response. So with all of that being said, I would love to get your thoughts on crypto. What opportunities are you seeing there? On AMC and GME, what are you seeing there? And I actually do want to leave you with one thing quickly. So I was checking out some things on the options market. Apple today hit a new all-time high, currently has a market cap of 2.8 trillion, almost worth $3 trillion. Apple, the 170s, 175s for December 10th, December 17th were by far the most heavily traded options today. So I don't know if people are playing the momentum or if they know something we don't, but people are betting on this thing continuing higher and higher. I personally missed that trade, but I did get a little bit of a chunk of NVDA. I was playing it up to 324. I did lock in some gains, and I'm currently trading another chunk of NVIDIA calls to swing overnight, because I think this thing, if it can break above 324, I'm kind of watching 332. So this is a quick little swing trade that I've personally found myself in. So with all that being said, are you playing Apple? Are you playing NVIDIA? What other potential swing trades do you think are like really prominent right now? Let me know in a comment below. And until I catch you next time, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.